Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So today is Sunday, and basically today I've got to drop Sniff Path at the veterinary hospital. So I'm currently just sat in the box and I'm getting everything ready to take her. So she's not having the surgery today, she's getting dropped off today so they can monitor overnight, starve her in preparation for the surgery tomorrow. I don't know what time it'll be tomorrow. If you haven't seen my video about the fact that Snip needs surgery, I'll link it down below. I'm not going to go into all the details of what she's having or why she needs it because I've already kind of gone through that. But basically tomorrow she's going to be having both hind suspensory ligaments denerved and the fascia, however you call it, cut around it so that it relieves the pressure so that she won't have any pain or issues with her suspensory. So she's having both hind suspensories operated on. That's what's happening. I am extremely nervous about the entire thing. Surgery is always a major thing, especially something as large as a horse. So very nervous, very scared, but we need to get it done so that she can be happy and healthy and out of any pain, and she can hopefully make a full recovery and get back into proper work and doing everything we wanted to do and all the big plans we had. So yeah, I just got the box pretty much ready. All I'm really taking is some spare rugs, her feed that I'll pick up when we get to the yard later, and some haylage. So she's not really a big foodie, so my main worry is that she won't eat after surgery if she's not feeling too great. I don't know why the dog's running around the box, but he is. So I've put some Silvermore haylage in for her because she absolutely loves it and she should eat that fine. Ellie's going to come with me to drop her off. My mum was going to come but she's busy, so Elle's going to come with me. We're going to take Ted for a run as well, who's currently in the footwell. Like, hello teddy bear. What are you doing down there? But I thought I would kind of try and document this because maybe people haven't known what it's like to go through surgery, or yeah, I didn't know whether you'd be curious as to the process. I obviously don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will go smoothly and it'll be fine. But there is obviously a risk, so I just wanted to kind of document it. It'll be a bit more of a vlog style, and I obviously won't be going into the vets with like cameras and stuff, so I'll just document what I can. But yeah, we're going to go pick her up and take her later on. So I didn't really record it because I was quite emotional, but Snip travelled really well to the vets. She settled in really nicely. She wouldn't take treats off me in the box because she gets a bit anxious in the box. But when we got there, she settled into a stable straight away because she's such a good girl. And the handover was really easy. They were really reassuring. And then I just had to say goodbye to her and go home. Oh dear, I look as rough as I feel. So guys, it is now Monday and today is the day of Snip's surgery. I wanted to come on this morning and tell you how I was feeling and what the plan was and what was going to happen and walk you through the day, but I literally sat down and I just felt sick. I've been so anxious and so worried all day, so I've just waited until I heard from the vet. So basically I literally just got off the phone with the vet and Snip is now out of surgery. It all went well, it all went very straightforward, and she's coming out of general anaesthetic now. I cannot tell you how relieved I am that it is over. Obviously there is the risk of post-surgery complications like colic and things like that, as there always are, but we're over the first hurdle, and I'm just so happy. So I'm going to kind of like run you through what happened. So we'll go a little bit back in time again. So I woke up this morning and I was feeling sick to my stomach. I've not really slept the last week just because I've been so worried about the surgery, and with horses any surgery is really risky because they're such a large animal. A lot can go wrong. And at 8:30 this morning I got the phone call from the vet. So when you normally when you drop the horse off, they do the consent form which I signed, but they didn't go through the risks. So sometimes they do it on the day of surgery, sometimes they do it when you like hand them over. But when I dropped Snip off, it was just a stable hand. There wasn't a vet there because it was a Sunday. So they have to ring you before surgery and basically say, this is everything that could go wrong. These are the statistics of it going wrong. Do you still want to go ahead? And it's horrendous, it really is, but they have to do it. So I got a phone call at 8:30. They went through what the surgery would be. So it's a neurectomy or neuroectomy and fasciectomy, so cutting of the nerve and cutting of the fascia. I won't go into too much detail because I don't know if you guys are squeamish or not. But yeah, basically they explain what the surgery is going to be and then they go through the risks. So they have to be like, worst case scenario, this could happen, that could happen. I can't really remember what all of the scenarios were, despite the fact I've been playing them in my head all day. So like the biggest ones were the fact that she'd be on her back for the surgery, so there's a chance of spinal issues and lots of things like that. And then the big one that they always have to tell you is that statistically 1 in 100 horses under general anaesthetic will just pass away because they're under general anaesthetic, and that can happen. And then my vets were like, but don't worry, our stats are 1 in 150, so we're above average. I'm like, great. I don't need to know. But yeah, so they went through all that and then they told me that her surgery would be this afternoon. So obviously I've had all day to wait, but I've kept myself very busy. I've had meetings, walking like this, and I've just kept myself stupidly busy, so I didn't have time to think. But my little girl is out of surgery. She's currently in a padded cell, coming around from general anaesthetic. It all went well, it was all very straightforward, and just fingers crossed now that we have no post-surgery complications or anything like that. Because obviously my brain is already like, oh, what else could go wrong? But yeah, I'm just so relieved that it's, you know, the first hurdle's over and that she's out of surgery, because I've been so worried. But oh, I can't wait to go and see her. So the visiting hours tomorrow are like less than 24 hours after surgery, so they said maybe don't come tomorrow, come like the day after, give her that time to chill and get herself sorted and pain relief and everything else done, and then I can go see her the day after, hopefully. So I'll see her in a couple of days time, and yeah, I will let you know how we get on. They said in terms of her coming home, it's normally about like 5 days later, I believe. So that's what they said when we were first on about surgery, so we will wait and see what happens anyway, but I will keep you all informed as the days go along. Good morning guys, so it's currently Thursday and I have some really great news. So yesterday afternoon I got a really unexpected phone call from the vets. Well, the phone call was expected. They were going to update me, and obviously we were expecting to bring Snip home today. They actually said that they changed her bandages, everything was looking really good, she was nice and alert, and they were happy for her to come home. So I hadn't even prepared the stable. I'd literally mucked it out and not bedded down or anything. So I ran to the yard, put the bed down, went and got the box, and then drove to Halifax to go and get her from Herds. And so it was really busy. The only shots I managed to get of when we first like saw her in the stable, and when we first got there she was like stood in the corner looking really sad, and then she like came round as soon as she saw us, which was so like lovely. She was clearly happy to see me, and was like, oh, I've not been abandoned at this crazy place. And yeah, so we got there and she was all bandaged up, bless her, and I expected her to be a lot worse than what she was. Like I was expecting her to really be hobbling, but she seemed to be like walking around the box fine. And we put her head collar on because we were going to bandage her front legs for travelling instead of putting travel boots on, because she doesn't really like travel boots. So anyway, we did that, and literally every single time the stable door opened, she was like, get me out of here. She was like dragging me to the stable door and trying to get out. And Snip is not bolshy, she's not one to be really strong on the ground, and she was just like telling me, she was like, Mum, I am ready to come home. So anyway, we loaded her up in the box, and I was so surprised. She walked out and onto the box like nothing had happened. I've seen my friend's horse come back from suspensory surgery and it was literally like hobbling, it was like dog lame, and that's what I was expecting from Snip, especially having had both back legs done. Obviously she is butted up, like, you know, she's on pain relief, so that may have something to do with it. But she literally walked out like nothing had happened, whinnying to all the horses, and I was like, oh my god, like I'd completely mentally prepared myself for a horrendous like trip home. Loaded her up, and then it's like an hour and a half to almost 2 hours to get home, and she travelled really well all the way. I was really pleased with her, and we got home and got her settled basically, and then tried to give her antibiotics and her bute and a feed, which she wasn't very keen on. We tried putting some recovery mash in there, we tried putting molasses in there. She ate a little bit of it, so I need to check this morning if she's actually eaten it, because if not I need to try and get it down her somehow. So basically Snippy is home and I'm so excited. It happened so quickly that I couldn't really film any of it, and like by the time we got home it was dark, my phone had died. I didn't get home until like, what, 7 o'clock last night, and this all happened during the afternoon, so I literally spent hours just sorting everything out for her and getting her settled. But yes, I'm just so glad she's home. So today what I'm going to do is go down to the yard and basically just show you her box rest routine. So what I'll be doing every single day for her for box rest, obviously we're still kind of working that out. She's having 2 feeds a day with her antibiotics and her oh, time to get up. She's having 2 feeds a day with her bute and her antibiotics in it, so I need to give her that this morning. I need to muck her out, and she's on very strict box rest, so she can't go for walks or anything for 4 weeks. So I'll be showing you some of the things that I'm going to do to keep her entertained during that 4 weeks. But yeah, this is day 1 of box rest. So guys, I have just been robbed by Tesco Express. So obviously yesterday Snip wasn't eating her antibiotics and stuff, so I put on my story, as every influencer does when they have an issue, ask the people, and loads of people said apple juice, so I need to come and get some apple juice and some other bits to try her with, to try and get these bloody antibiotics down her. And I would have just gone to Lidl, but Lidl isn't open till 8 and that's not good enough. I need to go see her now. I cannot wait any longer, so I've had to come to Tesco Express, which is always a rip-off. Like, you're walking knowing you're about to be mugged. So I got her some apple juice to put in a feed, because that was a big one that people said. Another thing that a lot of people said was grate up some carrot, and these are not carrots, grate up some apples. So basically everything's apple. Grate up some apples. People said honey. I have honey at home, but I forgot to bring it. People said molasses sandwiches. I brought bread from home. And then also applesauce. So, you know, like the stuff you have on pork. So bought some of this as well. World's tiniest jar. Cost a fortune. And then to be fair to me, I did buy Tesco's Finest cheddar and caramelised onion rolls, because these are the nicest things ever. And I think Freddie got me onto these and I'm addicted, and they're really expensive. So thanks for that, Freddie, but that's my breakfast. I might have an apple and be healthy, and then I'm going to have a sausage roll for breakfast. But yeah, that's what we're trying today. We tried molasses and recovery mash yesterday, didn't work. Well, hopefully it worked. Hopefully she's eating it by the time I get down. But I think I'm going to try and put it in the apple sauce. That's my plan to try today, because we need to get these down her ASAP. So when I got down to the yard this morning, Snip was looking very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready for her hay net that I had waiting for her. So I'm just going to take her out of the stable to muck her out, and as you can see, she's actually walking really well. and she's got a hay net over there to keep her occupied while I muck her out. So I'm doing a full muck out this morning, and checking how many poos she's done, because one of the big things after surgery is making sure that they're passing feces normally, weeing normally, all of that good stuff, because obviously a major concern is always colic. So I'm going to give her a really good muck out, and then I will be bedding her down and making sure that she has a nice big bed that is very firm, because one thing I don't want is a really big bed that she struggles to walk through, but I want a big bed that has lots of support, and that is nice and firm for her. So that's her bed all done and ready for her to come back in. I let her have a little bit of a change of scene and let her stand out here for a little while longer, just munching on her hay net, because it gets very, very boring, and if she's only allowed to be in 2 places for the next 4 weeks, she's going to get very bored very quickly. So at least the wash bay is a bit of a change of scene for her. And as you can see, her little legs are all bandaged up at the moment. There's actually about 3 layers of like gamgee, cotton wool and everything else under there, as I found out later when she had her bandages changed. But back in she goes for now. Not very happy about going back in the stable, bless her. She definitely wanted to head out to the field to join everyone else, but we're quite lucky that Snip is pretty chill. She's not really bothered about being in the stable on her own. If this was Smokey, he would be climbing the walls. So guys, not a great morning. I've just had the vet out to come and inject Snip with some pain relief, because she wouldn't take her bute and her feed. She wouldn't let me syringe her, and the syringe I had was too small for it, so we had to get the vet out, because she was rearing in the stable, would you believe, so she was clearly in some discomfort. I brought her out, I mucked her out, and she was absolutely fine. Then we put her back in. About 10 minutes later, she just started like pouring and then rearing, and then was just clearly in quite a bit of discomfort, but she hadn't really eaten a bute from last night, and she was meant to have one this morning, and she didn't really eat that, so she was clearly just unhappy. But she wasn't colicking or anything, thank goodness. So the vets came out literally within half an hour. They've been amazing. Did that, sedated her, and then they sedated her after giving her an injection for pain relief, to do her bandages, which hopefully she won't need sedating for in the future, but because it's still quite early, she needed sedating just because she was a bit kicky on the back legs. But yeah, so she's now nibbling at the hay that I've had to, because she gets hay on the floor, I've had to put it in the wheelbarrow so that she couldn't eat it after because she's still slightly sedated, and she's nibbling a little bit on the floor, but she'll be okay. So I'm just going to wait for her to come around fully, check that she's settled. I've even had to fetch Smokes in to keep her company to see if that would settle her, because with her rearing and everything, I don't want her to injure herself further. So little Smokey is playing carer, aren't you, Smokes? And he's been very good, my little man. So yeah, it's been a rubbish morning, but she seems a lot better now, and we've also changed from bute to a different type of pain relief that's hopefully a bit more palatable for her. So yeah, not the morning I expected to get into the swing of everything, but at least bandages have been changed. I got to have a look at the staples. It's actually a very small incision, and it's very clean, so yeah, bit of a rubbish one, but hopefully I'll have a better update for you later. I've like tidied my boxes, and there's not really anything more I can do apart from poop it, but to poop it I've got to go and leave her, so I'm not doing that yet. I'm going to wait until she's fully come round and settled, and then I might go poop pick, check on her, and then maybe head home for lunch. But I genuinely just feel like camping out. So yeah, poor Snippies. I don't think this is the most flat triangle. Come on then. Come on. Oh gosh. No, don't sit on me. No, Daddy. Daddy, get off. Right. So guys, I have come home. I literally am just gonna leave Snip for an hour or two because she's settled now. And I was up at 3 AM this morning, so I am absolutely shattered. I've come and got on the sofa. And Chris has made me a cup of tea and is currently making me a sausage sandwich. which I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to try and have like half an hour nap before I go back down. But yeah, I am absolutely exhausted. Having horses come back from surgery is like the most tiring thing ever. So yeah, that's how my afternoon's going, and then I'm literally going to go down and feed her later. Try and get some antibiotics and bute down her, which is going to be the bane of my life. And then I'll check her again, probably late tonight, like really last thing. But have you got my sausage sandwich? Do you want to be on my vlog? The man in blue. So guys, it's a few hours later now and I've come back down to check on the kids, who both look... Oh, Snippy looks a bit grumpy, but Smokes is stood eating. Hey baby. And Snippaloos is like asleep. Like you Snips. Hi baby. So I need to muck both the horses out, and I need to give Snip her antibiotics and her bute. Now the only thing that she would eat her antibiotics in earlier was this. So this is the Saracen's recovery mash, and I've just got a little one to try her out with. But basically it's banana flavoured, and one of my friends on the yard, whose horse has been on meds previously, said it's the only thing that got hers sort of eating. So I've put quite a bit in here, hoping that that'll do like a couple of feeds. I'm boiling the kettle now, and I'm just gonna do this first because it's got like sugar beet in it, so you need to soak it. So I'm gonna prepare this, and then I think I'll muck them out. I don't want to muck them out first. If that'll unsettle them, I'll try and feed her straight away. But I think I'll muck them both out first, because that's gonna be, you know, doing its thing, and then hopefully she eats it. But yeah, I'll muck them out. So guys, I have cleaned out Miss Snip's stable, and I've put this in it here for Smokey to eat in a minute, but she says she's eating it. But yeah, her stable is all nice and clean. We had plenty of poops, not many wees, so keep an eye on the wees. But yeah, I'm going to bring Smokes out now because I need to muck out his stable, don't we, little man? Because Nurse Smokey has been in all day. And also, if anyone was wondering about my stupidly expensive Tesco trip this morning, none of it works. She doesn't like any of the apple stuff. So I've been drinking the apple juice, and I'll take the apple sauce home, or I might just give it Smokes for being a good nurse. But yeah, right, muck out you. Hi sis. Off. Onto pony. No. Why are you into everything? Get off. So Smokes is all mucked out, and he's been very grumpy to his sister. I brought you over here to be a nurse. He's not enjoying his nurse role, being very grumpy, but she is happily munching. So I'll show you his stable already. And I don't know if I've mentioned about Smokey's nose bags. It's this nose bags with a Z. You can't really see it because the lighting's so rubbish in here, but basically it's a corner hay bar, but it's not a hay bar, it's like velcroed in. so you can take it out and you can get to the bottom and actually get some the dust out and everything. So this is great for him because it slows him feeding, but he's still feeding from like ground level when he gets down, so he's not like has to have the height of the hay net or the risk of getting his legs caught or anything. So I've been trying. He's had this ages actually. I just haven't put it up since we've moved stables, but I really need to get Snip one of these because the issue with her being on box rest is she drags all of her hay into her bed. So that's my next mission. Right, come on, little man. Yes, I know, you've got Silvermore in there and you don't want the hay that's in here. Come on. No, you're not having the molasses. Oi, Smokey, you're into everything. Get in here. Yes, look. There you go. Happy days. So, I have just fed both horses. I've given Snip the recovery mash with her. It's not Butte, it's a pain relief. I can't remember what it's called. It's meant to taste nicer than Butte. It's the yellow one. But I used some of the, Saracen's recovery mash, and I put it in. Fingers crossed she was eating it. I'm literally whispering and hiding around the corner because I'm scared that if she sees me, she'll eat it. And Smokes has just got his normal one. But I'm going to then take that out and give some more with her antibiotics in. So fingers crossed she eats both, because that has been the cause of all the issues, is her not eating her medication, which then makes her more poorly. But I think... I don't look. Guys, it's a miracle. She's eaten the pain relief. Oh my goodness, well done, Snip Snip. Look at the empty bowl. Right. Let's hope she takes antibiotics. So guys, it's now day 2 of box rest, and Sniffy is much happier today. We've had a very good mare today. She is the only horse in as well, and she's absolutely fine with that. So this morning she did eat her Butte and her antibiotics, so she's a lot happier. I mucked her out and then left her for a couple of hours because I need to actually get some work done. So I left her for about 3 hours, and then I'm back now to kind of skip out, check her. I'm going to give her a groom. I've just given her a Silvermore Grasabix that she absolutely loves. I'm going to be using a lot of the Silvermore Grasabix and swingers for her while she's on box rest, because they're not like high in sugar, it's just like dried grass. So it's something nice and natural for her, but keeps her entertained for long. So that's what we're going to be using a lot, isn't it, Snippers? But yeah, I'm going to give her a quick groom now, and then I will be back down this evening to give her a Butte or antibiotics and to muck out again. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave the vlog here. I might insert a little outro of us having a bit of a groom, but she's nice and settled now. If you want me to kind of document a bit more of her box rest, let me know. Obviously as it goes along we'll be changing things, but it is a little bit boring at the minute. Obviously box rest is boring, you're not doing anything. It's just going to be a lot of me spending time with her, trying to keep her entertained and happy in the stable. So guys, this is not how I wanted to end this video, but I have quite a rubbish update for you all. Snip has had to be rushed back into the veterinary hospital yesterday. So I finished filming the rest of this video a few days ago, about 3 days ago. And Snip was doing well, and then yesterday morning I went down to see her. And she was quite distressed, so obviously we'd had issues with her pain relief before, but we thought we'd got on top of it. And by the time I'd got down in the morning, she had like dug up all of her bed and was just like stood in the middle of it, and I didn't know whether she was uncomfortable because maybe the like Butte had worn off, or if it was anything more sinister. So I brought her out the table, I like mucked her out to try and find poos, because basically the day before she hadn't really passed much, so I was a bit concerned about colic, and she had obliterated her stable and I found no poo. So I knew straight away that she was colicking. I actually popped her back into a friend's stable, and immediately she was kicking at her belly, she was turning and looking at her left side, she was trying to get down and roll, so we had to get someone with a head collar to like hold her up because there was like trying to kick, and she like at one point kicked with one of her back legs against a brick wall, which obviously she's just had surgery on her back legs. So she was in a lot of discomfort, and it was horrendous. It was horrible. So I of course rang the vet straight away, and they said we'll have a vet with you within the hour. Try and get her some fluids down her because she's not really drank that night. Try and keep her as comfortable as you can. So made some recovery mash. She did drink a little bit of it, but I knew that she hadn't really drank that evening and she didn't want anything. She just wanted to walk around because she was in pain. So the vet got there actually really quickly, and did the usual, took her temperature, heart rate, did a full examination and did an rectal exam. And basically when her hand was up there, she just kind of looked at me and I was like, what? And she said, that's not meant to be there. Now they are the words you never ever want to hear from a vet. And I was like, it's an impaction, like what's going on? She was like, there is a small impaction but it's soft. So that's what caused the colic basically. She couldn't pass anything. She said, but more concerning is that the large intestine isn't sitting in the right place. So basically with horses with colic, I don't know if you guys have experienced it, what can happen is the gut can move around and get displaced, and that can be really, really serious and can require surgery. So we rushed and got the horse box and then took Snip straight back to the veterinary hospital where she had her surgery a week ago, and so we took her straight back in. It takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So by the time we got there, she had actually passed some faeces, so that she'd done one poo in the box, which was a good sign. They re-examined her, they took blood, they did a tummy tap needle test. She was dehydrated, as we knew, and they were quite concerned about the displaced large intestine. So we started going through sort of options and everything. The brilliant vet that saw us went and spoke with a surgeon. We really, really, really wanted to try and avoid colic surgery because A, it's very high risk. It can have really long-term issues if they do come out of it, and I try to avoid it at all costs. And then B, she'd already just had surgery on her suspensory, so it increased the risk of damage to those because they've got to be knocked out and go down. It was really something we didn't want to happen. Now luckily she has not had to have surgery so far. We went for medical management, so they have tubed her fluids last night and she's been on IV fluids, so she's been hooked up to fluids all evening. She's not been fed anything in 24 hours, and the good news is last night she did pass poo, so she did quite a few, and we do think that the majority of the impaction has been cleared. We're waiting for the scan, and they've had a feel, and the large intestine feels a lot more normal. It feels like it's in a better position, but they need to scan just to check it is fully back where it needs to be, because sometimes you have to have correctional surgery to put everything back where it should be. Horses are designed really badly, basically. But yeah, so it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous, but we are coming out of on the other side, hopefully. Snip is doing much better. The plan is that she's come off the fluids now, and that later today she should hopefully start eating. And if she starts eating and passing faeces normally and there's no blockages, then fingers crossed in a couple of days she can come home. But yesterday was one of the scariest days I've had owning horses, probably on par with the time I found Smokey laid out in the field with his colic. It's horrendous, and I really did think we were going to lose her, or that she'd have to go in for another surgery. So it's been very emotional, but I wanted to update you all. So she is looking a lot better. We are by no stretch of the imagination out of the woods yet, but I will continue to keep you updated on my Instagram. I've been doing daily updates on there about her, and hopefully my next video that I upload is a little bit more positive. So as soon as she's back home I will let you know, and I really hope she comes home soon. And that this is all over soon. But yeah, she's back in hospital, and fingers crossed she will make a full recovery.